Welcome to another meeting of the Lorain County Commissioners, broadcast exclusively on your Lorain County Community College education station. The Lorain County Commissioners cordially invite you to see the meetings live and in person every Thursday morning. The meetings are located in the Lorain County Administration Building, located at 226 Middle Avenue in downtown Elyria. The meetings start at 9:30 a.m. on most weeks. Now, enjoy the meeting.
I was going to say, okay, we all ready? Yeah. Would you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Today we have is 4-H Youth Government Day.
Oh, we're standing.
And, well, thank you. And I thought it would be nice if the 4-Hers who are here and those of you who might be in the audience like Eloise Hardy and Eva Weber would stand and join them in giving the 4-H pledge. And if there's any other 4-Hers, please stand. Okay, girls?
As a true 4-H member, I pledge my head to clear thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, my health to better living, for my club, my community, my country, and my world.
Thank you. Okay, that was good. They did that well without any Welcome to the November 15th meeting of the Lorain County Board of Commissioners. A thought for the day says, life is built of the things we do. The only constructive material is positive action. Our first appointment is with Mayor Bill Grace of the City of Elyria regarding the Cascade Riverwalk project. Good morning, Mayor Grace.
Good morning, Commissioner Blair and Commissioner Moore, Commissioner Vasey. Thank you once again for your kind indulgences here to meet this morning to talk about Cascade Park and our Riverwalk. I was here about 6 months ago to talk about this, and at the time felt was very well received. However, one of the issues that came before the board was wanting some more details of our plans. We've since been busy at work being more detailed, drawing up more detailed plans. I have, hopefully before you, several pictures, one of which was available to you last time we met, kind of an aerial photograph of the area as orientation, showing our police station at the bottom right, Ely Square up at the top, with the county administration building, as a matter of fact, at the very top of the picture there. Many people have a hard time understanding what a beautiful waterfalls we have and actually how close it is to people's daily activities. This project, on the next page, the graphic here, is a prospective site plan of the area. We hired Banking Associates, a landscape architectural firm out of Cleveland. They're widely renowned in our region for doing landscape architectural projects, particularly boardwalks, etc. The County Metro Parks a number of years ago hired them to do the Burr Oak Trail, the trail from Burr Oak to East 34th Street in Lorain, from Elyria to Lorain. They designed and facilitated the construction of that. So they have experience here in Lorain County and grand experience in other places. They did the Brandywine Waterfalls deck in the Cuyahoga Valley, and we were very impressed with their abilities. We hired them to do a feasibility study, which is depicted in this drawing that shows elevations, perspective paths where decks would be and walkways, etc., and as well as a budget. They also made a part of their study the use of recycled materials as much as possible in the construction and design of this. Their projection at this stage of development is the total budget would be about $550,000, of which $200,000 could be used for recycled materials, and the balance of $350,000 would be mostly in the area of labor, but some of it would be in materials that would be other than recycled products. The process would take, I think, about 6 months to construct. We're hopeful to begin this project in the spring with your support of $200,000 from the recycling solid waste grant, and then the balance, the $350,000, we would, as we have available, $350,000 from our community development block grant program, of which this is an eligible project. So we would construct virtually most of what you see here, the looping trail as well as the actual board, the actual observation decks, one that's in yellow, and then there's two others that are depicted in this next rendering, showing a view of the area. The stone work on the bottom in the center of the picture is actually the old remnants of a former power plant that used to reside at that location. In fact, part of the dam that was constructed on the waterfalls was done so to divert water into that facility. It's our plan to build on that old foundation, the lowest and the first of the observation decks, to take advantage of the features that exist there. We're very excited about this project. I venture to say that 75% of the people of Elyria, certainly surrounding areas, have never seen our waterfalls due to the lack of access. And this project, I believe, will make them more accessible for the community to enjoy, as well as our visitors to enjoy. And the mission of the solid waste program is to facilitate the use of recycled materials and make people aware of the possibilities. And I think this would be a great project in that it will be a high-profile project that people will be aware of what recycled materials can do, and how it can be done to improve people's quality of life. So I think this would be a great project, available to answer any questions that you may have.
Mr. Cordes, you discussed this issue with Mr. Billman of our solid waste department?
Yes, I have, Commissioners. Dan is here. I believe he's prepared to speak on it, so I'd like to give way to him and ask him to come to the podium.
Thank you. Dan, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dan Billman, B-I-L-L-M-A-N. I'm the Solid Waste Director for the county. In talking with Jim and Mayor Grace and his administration, I wholeheartedly support the efforts that the City of Elyria is taking in this project in utilizing recycled materials. Recycled materials will not only be recycled plastics, which would amount to recycled lumber, but it would be recycled steel for the underpinning of it, and also recycled concrete for the sidewalks and the bases for the parking lots. Not only will it'll give a City of Elyria a showcase project that, just like the City of Lorain that we funded not too long ago, whereas recycled products are the mainstay of that project, and that's what's going to happen here in Elyria. So not only will Lorain have a nice park setting with utilizing recycled products, Elyria will also. So I wholeheartedly do support this project. Do you have any questions, Commissioners?
And with that support, you're saying that there are sufficient funds to approve this request and the solid waste monies?
Yes.
Mr. Cordes?
Commissioners, I also work with the city administrators on this, and I think it'd be a wonderful place to showcase the recycled products. Plus, the materials that are being used pretty much have an indefinite lifespan. The decking will be similar to what you see on our benches and picnic tables and so forth. It's almost indestructible material, so it would be great to see people looking at that material in a much larger fashion. So I would urge you to approve this request.
Thank you very much. Having been a fan of Cascade Park for years, I'm not one of those who has not seen the falls, and within the last 3 weeks I have been to this location, and how nice it would be if everyone can get to it with the least amount of trouble. So does the board have questions or comments?
Yeah, what was the amount that was requested?
Of solid waste funds, we're requesting $200,000, and that would go to the surface decking material, the steel that would be the underlaying support system, and related products.
That would be for the recycled material that's going into the project.
Yeah, and as well as Mr. Billman mentioned, the recycled concrete that we would use in some of the surface pavement areas. We would utilize recycled materials everywhere that's possible and certainly reasonable.
Okay. We will have the funds to do this. My main concern is the Justice Center and the materials, the recycled materials that we're going to use in the Justice Center. I want to assure that when that time comes that we'll have the funds available through the Solid Waste Department for those items.
I believe so, and I've talked to Jim about it a little bit, so I understand what's coming up, so I believe so.
Okay, because in the future I think we're going to have to watch grants similar to these. These are allowances above and beyond the grants that the municipalities and the townships and everyone receive. So I think we're going to have to watch them in the future, but I think this is a beautiful project. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to put these pictures down there so that everyone can see them. But I would move to approve.
I will second the motion. Is there any further discussion? Madam Clerk?
Ms. Vacy? Aye. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Now, since we've approved this, is there any other action we need to take about the moving of monies today that would facilitate this process?
I appreciate the board's support and approval of this issue. I have a tertiary issue remaining unresolved that needs to be resolved before I'll ask the board to move the money.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr.
And
Cortez.
this is for recycled material, Madam Clerk.
Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Thank
Greatly
you.
appreciate this. Thank you
And
very much.
let us know when we can use it.
We will. You'll be involved in the ribbon cutting, I'm sure.
Oh, good. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
I'm going to deviate from the agenda for just a minute because we neglected to put a presentation on from Eva Weber, our 4-H extension. You just have to give us your proper title, Eva, and Eloise Hardy, who is the president of one of the groups that supports Eva, and these two ladies work very closely with our 4-H youth that are here today and the program, and they have something they wanted to give to the commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Blair, Commissioner Moore, and Commissioner Vacy. I'm Eva Weber. I'm Extension Agent in 4-H Youth Development with Ohio State University and also serve as the office chair. And with me today is Eloise Hardy, who is president of our Extension Advisory Committee, a citizen group. First, I want to start with just a very brief history lesson. On May 8, 1914, President Woodrow Wilson signed the Smith-Lever Act, which was, in President Wilson's words, one of the most significant and far-reaching measures for the education of adults ever adopted by the U.S. government. Its purpose, as stated by Congress, was to, quote, aid in diffusing among the people of the U.S. useful and practical information on subjects related to agriculture and home economics, and to encourage the application of the same. The Smith-Lever Act created the Cooperative Extension Service, which forged a partnership between federal, state, and county governments and the land-grant universities, and that partnership continues today. Many other countries throughout the world have tried to emulate this kind of an informal educational partnership. It is an effective system for delivering research-based information on a practical level to citizens. The Cooperative Extension Service was started in Lorain County on March 1st, 1917, shortly after the Federal Act was passed. Today in Ohio, we are known as Ohio State University Extension, to clearly connect us with the land-grant university in our state. Today, we continue to exist through a partnership in funding with you, our county commissioners. And we are here today simply to publicly express our appreciation for that support. And I just want to give a few examples. Obviously, Betty, you've already indicated today 4-H Youth Government Day is occurring, and that's thanks to your approval as a Board of Commissioners to continue that educational activity for teens each year. And we have a dozen and a half youth, I think, scattered throughout different county offices, including the 3 youth that are here shadowing our commissioners today. That activity, this is, I think, the 33rd annual 4-H Youth Government Day, has been a tremendous educational experience for youth over the years, exposing them to county government and encouraging them to take an involvement as an active citizen in county government as they become adults. Throughout the years and continuing with this present Board of Commissioners, you have shown solid support for OSU Extension funding through budget appropriations. This year you appropriated a total budget of almost $344,000 from general fund and solid waste funds. This has enabled Lorain County Extension Office to provide citizens with educational programs and services in agriculture, horticulture, natural resources, community development, family and consumer sciences, and of course in youth development. You have provided funding for a new position for an extension agent in community economic development who works in partnership with County Economic Development Office and the Lorain County Community College to build a more solid economic future for Lorain County. And this position was initiated just a year ago. You have shown your support for volunteerism in Lorain County through your presence and your actions recognizing the many hundreds of volunteers who serve with the 4-H Youth Development Program. Former county commissioners built a Lorain County Agricultural Center in 1988 where our office is housed with 2 other agencies, and I want to tell you this facility is the envy of many county extension offices throughout the state. Last year, your current Board of Commissioners approved an expansion to that so that we could have increased meeting room space and office facilities to better serve the citizens in Lorain County with our educational programming. I could go on, but the bottom line is we're simply here to let you know how much our staff, our Extension Advisory Committee, and the citizens of Lorain County appreciate that kind of support from our county commissioners. Thank you. Eloise?
Good morning, Commissioners Blair, Vossi, and Moore. As President of Lorain County Extension Advisory, our board chose to be supportive to our staff, and as you are ex-officio members of our staff, we felt it was important to come and give you recognition, and so what we will be presenting to each of you today is a certificate that states Ohio State University Extension of Lorain County is a certificate of appreciation, and there's one for each of you with your names on it for your outstanding support and service to our programs. And I have been involved in the volunteer work of Lorain County Extension for 43 years, and over the years this has been an outstanding continuation of support. So we just want to really let you know we love you and care. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again.
And I think we love you in return.
Kind of pinned in here today.
Thank you. This is for Commissioner Basie.
Thank you.
Yours was on top.
Oh, there you go.
I'm sorry, Betty's folder's underneath.
Yeah, there, that's yours.
She gets the folder. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And it's our pleasure. Thank you very much. It's very nice.
They have a seal on them. They are very nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. I just have to piggyback on some of the remarks that Eva made, and Eloise. You heard her say that Eloise has been a volunteer for 43 years. At the volunteer recognition dinner I attended, and Commissioner Moore was there too. Fred Epley, who has been active with the band, I think, since its formation together, he and his wife have 100 years of volunteer service to the 4-H. And I just think it's wonderful what you adults do for our young people. And many of you adults were these young people in 4-H. I've heard stories about Eva Weber. They were good stories. So thank you so much. Moving along to our 9:40, we were a little late, and I apologize for that. But Melanie Long, Planner 3, is here to advise the board about the request from John Gaydosh, Ohio Metallurgical, together with support legal counsel for Industrial Development Revenue Bond Project. Good morning, Melanie.
Good morning. I'm Melanie Long, LONG. I'm here about Chapter 165 Industrial Development Revenue Bond for Ohio Metallurgical. This bond is in the amount of $2.7 million for the acquisition of new equipment and modification of existing building. The company will retain 44 jobs and create 5 more over the next 3 years. This was approved at the September 13th CIC meeting. Today we have with us, as you stated, John Gaydosh from Ohio Metallurgical, Steve Hammersmith from Buckingham, Doolittle, and Burroughs, Materials, and Kathy Petrie from Squires, Sanders, and Dempsey, if you have any questions.
Okay. Perhaps we need a little overview since this is a month past the time when it was approved. I think that would be appropriate. Good morning. Would you state your name, please?
Good morning. My name is Steve Hammersmith. I'm bond counsel for the project. This is an industrial development bond, again approved 2 months ago with the CIC, and the inducement legislation was passed at the same time by the county commissioners. We're ready to go forward. We obtained our issue of state volume cap soon after our inducement, and we are ready to go forward with the project. It's $2.7 million. The bonds are going to be secured by a letter of credit issued by First Merit Bank, who issued the letter of credit for the bond issue that the commissioners approved 3 years ago for Ohio Metallurgical. And as stated, the Ohio Metallurgical, which is in the business of heat treating steel. And if you have any specific questions about the company or its business, John Gadash, Vice President at Ohio Metallurgical, could answer those questions for you.
Thank you. And Kathy Petrie, who is legal counsel on behalf of the commissioners.
Good morning. I'm Kathy Petrie with the law firm of Squires, Sanders, and Dempsey. We've been given an opportunity to review all of the documents for this transaction, and they are in good form. They have all of the usual protections and indemnification provisions for the county.
Thank you, Kathy. And John Gadash, did you wish to address the board this morning?
Good morning. I'm John Gadash from Ohio Metallurgical. I'm the general manager and partner. We are located in Elyria. As Steve mentioned, we're a heat treating company, and we'd just like to thank the county for helping us borrow money at a lower rate by approving these bonds for us. As you did 3 years ago, it worked out very well, and maybe someday I'll be back to see you again. Things did keep going so well.
Thank you, John. Does the board have any questions?
No, but I do have a comment. John, it's a pleasure to do something like this for businesses that expand. Lorain County is losing a lot of jobs, and to see a business expand, it's great. So keep up the good work.
Hope to.
Thanks. And then it's necessary for us to approve, what is our, Melanie or Kathy, what formal action is required by the board this morning?
You have a resolution before you giving the final authorization for the issuance of the bonds, and so...
The resolution to certify the project?
That is the resolution that is actually coming from the CIC, but I believe that you also have the resolution authorizing the issuance of the bonds.
Okay. I'll move for approval of the resolution authorizing the bonds.
Second. Discussion? Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy? Aye. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Thank you all for your assistance in this project, and good luck. That was the CIC part.
Do you need authorization to sign as president of the board?
Is that the only signature that's there?
Just
Pardon me?
the clerk's on the resolution. The clerk and...
Okay, yes. Since I was the mover of the motion, I will include authorizing the president to sign, if that's okay with you, Commissioner Vacy.
All three signatures are on here.
Well, then you don't need it.
No.
We're all set. Okay, just sign it. Right. You can sign it now and we'll be done with that. Okay?
That's what they're waiting for.
Yes, all right. While we're signing this mechanism, we failed to introduce the people who are our guests for today. So I would like to start and introduce my shadow, who is Autumn Blackburn, and she has a sister, Amber. And Autumn is a student at Westwood School, and she lives in Elyria Township. So Autumn, welcome. Do you want to say anything? Okay.
I'll introduce my assistant today, Jenny Jacobs. She goes to Elyria Catholic. She's a sophomore. Her parents are David and Linda Jacobs, and her mother is I believe the assistant at Carlisle Township, and told her today to watch number 24, which deals with annexation. So she has a job to do today.
And Commissioner Vacy?
Yes. And my shadow here is Mackenzie Martin from Fireland School, and I understand she's a freshman. And it's good to have her here. I went to a school yesterday, and there were a bunch of, I believe they were seniors. And we did a mock annexation, so when you said annexation, it just brought it back to my mind. But those kids were great. And what I saw through them was some more elected officials coming up, a new generation of elected officials and attorneys. I mean, they were really great. And they put on a good annexation. They put on a good battle between the township and Lorain City, because that's where we were annexing. And it was just great. And I think they learned a lot from it and they enjoyed it. So invite me to your school. We'll put on a mock there too, and we'll get a good feel of an annexation. Thank you.
May I have a moment?
Yes, Mr. Cortez.
We want to reserve this prosperity. I like to ask Madam Clerk to make a tape when they come in for each one of these individuals of this meeting. They have that ability now, so they can have it.
Oh, how nice. Good idea.
So if you get their names and addresses, I would do that myself, but we didn't get any assistance over here.
Aw, that's too bad.
But I think that would be nice if we made that tape and we gave each copy of the tape.
It's a good idea, Jim.
Okay, and Teresa, was this proclamation on the agenda today?
No, it was not.
Okay. All right, then we have one other, just a minor thing. It's in the matter of proclaiming today as the 4th Annual America Recycles Day in Lorain County. And there's a lot of information about why we should be recycling, and I think you saw a prime example of it earlier in the use of the recycled materials. So we have signed this, and we are proclaiming today as the 4th Annual America Recycles Day in Lorain County. Okay? And are we supposed to give this to Dan Billman? Yes. Because he cares that we recycle. Okay. This is... thank you, Dan. Keep on recycling. Okay. Now we will hear from Debbie Moore, who is the General Manager of Lorain County Transit. Good morning, Debbie.
Good morning. My name is Debbie Moore, M-O-H-R, and as Commissioner Blair said, I'm the General Manager for Lorain County Transit. With us today are friends, passengers, staff, and we have a few of our board members in the audience, Lyle Jameson, Herman Larkins, who just walked in, Bevan Smith, and we're here today to present our budget request for fiscal year 2002. And what we're going to do is I'm going to give a brief update on how the transit system is doing as of today. And Tom Ferguson, Lorain County Transit's Finance Director, will be presenting the budget request and the information that accompanies that. And then we have a few other people that wanted to be here today to share some additional information with you. But we first came to the commissioners in 1999, and at that point had explained that Lorain County Transit was experiencing the worst financial crisis it had ever been faced with, and that was because federal laws had changed in how public transportation was going to be funded all across the country. What that meant when we applied for our annual grants was that we could continue to get capital and planning money, and in some cases even more, but we would no longer receive the operating money. And at that time, the commissioners agreed to help support financially the public transit system in Lorain County and the operational cost, and we were able to expand the service. In 2000, you had given us a little over $2 million, and we went from 5 fixed routes to 13, and we added dial-a-ride hours, and the new service began in August of 2000. By the end of the year, ridership was approximately, the trips were 150 trips completed, which at that time were the most that LCT had ever done. We keep monthly ridership reports and track the different routes in the entire system, and the thing that we're very pleased about is that when we compare the numbers from October of last year, which we thought were really good, to October of this year, those trips have doubled. We're over 300,000 trips as of the end of October. And what that says is that because we're going into more neighborhoods that we had never served before, and that the buses are running approximately once every hour instead of once every 3, it's becoming more convenient for people, and it's better meeting their needs. And that wouldn't have been possible without the support that the commissioners have given to Lorain County Transit. So that's all I have to say, and I'd like to introduce Tom Ferguson, the Finance Director, to better explain the budget request.
Thank you. My name's Tom Ferguson. As Debbie said, I'm the Finance Director for Lorain County Transit. And I believe you've all received, and I brought another one this morning, our budget request for 2002. And if I could, I'd like to go over some preliminaries relative to our budget, just general education. Our budget has 3 components. This is the way transit is funded. And there's an operating component, a planning, and a capital. The reason that this is like this is because of the way that the Federal Transit Administration funds it. The operating, a year or 2 ago, the FTA stopped funding the operating part of transit. And so now the operating part comes almost 100% from local. Ours would be like 97% locally funded this particular year, but that's because of a grant I'll get to. The planning is 80% federal funded, 10% state funded, 10% local funded. The capital portion is 80% federal, and then you could take 20% from the state. So that would be how that one's funded. The commissioners in our current budget for 2002 would be about 50% of our operating. The other 50% comes from income items such as fare box, contracts we have with different agencies. We have some city, village, and township contributions that we request from them and that they graciously give to us. Advertising revenue. On our buses we have signs, and on those signs we receive advertising revenue. And then we receive some revenue from ODOT, the State Department of Transportation, for fare supplement for our half-fare rates, which are for the seniors and disabled. And so they supplement that fare reduction. To get into another area, before I get to actual budget request, is just to make you aware of some capital plans. Again, capital is funded 80% federal by Federal Transit Administration, 20% by Ohio Department of Transportation. Some of the plans we have coming up in 2002, though, would be replacement of some vehicles, probably anywhere 4, 5, or 6 older vehicles that we will be replacing. We've had bus shelters, bike racks, of which we already have some on the buses, but we intend to retrofit the rest of our buses with bike racks. The train station, a transfer station that we need, we may have to lease some space for a transfer station. Signage to go on our buses. We have electric signs on all our new buses, but we have to retrofit the older buses. And 2 to 3 trolleys that we've already received funding for. And to go back to the train station for a minute, right now we've got, just to address that quickly, we've got grants already out there. We're asking for some discretionary money, near $3 million for train station development, and we've also got it in our current federal grant and state grant for money for the train station renovation and planning things. Now to go to our current year's request, our 2002 balanced budget that we have. Of course, there's good news and bad news. The bad news is we still have to ask you for money. The good news, though, is that it's a substantially reduced amount from what we've done the last couple years. As Ms. Moore said, for the last 2 years, you've given us close to $2 million each year, and that's really allowed us to expand and to get the system much further along than we want. This year, our total our total budget is about $4.76 million. That's operating, planning, and capital. The operating part is about $2.4 million. What we're asking the commissioners for this year is about $1.2 million, which is about half of the 2.4 operating budget. That is about $913,000 less than we asked for and received last year. And there are some reasons why it's gone down this year. Excuse me, Ms. Moore has negotiated with First Transit, who is our service provider. They provide the transportation under contract with us, an hourly rate because of the service, and it's a much decreased hourly rate, lower than we've ever had, and we pay for our service by the hour for First Transit. Also, when the federal government reduced operating funds, they did allow, or because we went to this hourly rate with First Transit, we were allowed to go into a different funding system for them on a capital basis, which is called capitalized maintenance, of which 40% of our cost of providing the service is applicable for capital funding, which means we get 80% of that 40%. And that has produced more revenue. We didn't realize what effect this was going to have because we just started on that at some point last year, and it's had a big effect. We've also, because of the increased ridership, we've increased our fare box. This year it's up almost $64,000 from last year. In addition to that, probably the final item is that we did apply for and get a job access grant, which has contributed over $181,000 towards our operating expenses that will be applied next year. That is, at this stage, a one-year grant, so that will just at least apply to next year. So that is the main reason we're asking for the $1.2 million, $913,000 less than we asked for and received last year. And those were the reasons. So if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Thank you, Tom. Commissioner Moore?
Yeah, last year we appropriated an additional $600,000 so you guys could expand your service to the east side of the county. Even with that expansion and additional revenue, you guys still see yourselves $900,000 short? I mean, yes. From what you requested last year?
Yes, right, and we've done that expansion. We did that Route 55, which runs through Avon.
No, with even the additional revenue that you asked for, we're still going to be under $900,000. Because last year you appropriated, or you asked for, was it 2.1?
Correct.
Okay, but then we gave you an additional 600, which took you to 2.7.
No, that was part of it.
Okay, so you did include that 600?
We asked for $1,537,000 in the basic service, and the additional $576,000, which brought it to $2,113,000.
Okay.
Expansion.
So that's included what we did later on in the first quarter of this year. Okay.
And you're also contracted with Jobs and Family Services, and what's that amount, $150,000?
That was that job access grant, but that contract with them, that's a matching amount. The $150,000 matches a $300,000 federal grant, and we needed that money to match the federal grant, of which that's the $181,000 in that grant that applies towards next year's operating money. So that's in there with that federal grant.
Okay. Well, this looks like you guys did a great job.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments?
Now, I did have some questions that I wrote to you in regards to some of the questions I had, and I was amazed at what was in the agenda, the minutes, after I received your reply. And let me read it, and I have to be very honest with you, I didn't appreciate it. The board said, here, Ms. Moore said that we received a letter from Commissioner Vasey requesting some explanation on some financial data we have sent her. The board said to respond to her request in general manner and let her ask for more information if necessary. Well, I do have some more information that I feel is necessary, and you will be receiving another letter from me. But I thought that was kind of strange that you would have to reply in a general manner when the questions were specific.
I think if I could address that, I believe we did write back and respond pretty much in a specific manner.
No, it was pretty general.
I thought we addressed each of those items that you had brought up.
No, it was pretty general, and I have a question under just about every one of those questions.
Because I remember I responded to it, I thought, most of the specific items.
Thank you, Tom. And Debbie, you have anything further then?
I do not, but we do have a few people that came today that would like to say something. If they can do that at this point, is that all right?
I believe it would be appropriate, if it's all right with the board. Brief comments.
Okay. First of all, we have Doug Kill.
It's a pleasure to be here and support the Lorain County transit system. I didn't know much about it. I've been in this county for 30 years. I've seen the buses go back and forth. But due to a health problem and a caregiver in Wellington, I was kind of marooned there, so I had to think about where I could go and how I could reach my office and my home. And with a little investigation, I found that the routes were very sufficient. It would take me to my office and also to my home. While on the bus, I like to talk to people, so I tried to find out, why were they there? Are these just people for a ride? Well, there were some Oberlin College students. There were students from Lorain County Community College. And I guess the biggest percentage of these people that rode the bus were people going to work. And apparently this was the only way they had of holding down a job and going to work. I asked if they had cars. No, they don't have cars. So I appreciate the support that the county commissioners have given to this project. I think it's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Mrs. Swami, good morning. How are you?
I am Mrs. Swami. I ride this transit bus for the past 9 years. Due to these facilities, I'm able to do all the volunteer work. Recently, for the past 4 years, I joined the STARS program and go to Crestwood School 4 days a week to help the kids with reading and maths, etc. And then I go to RSCP office to do the office work. Without these facilities, I won't be able to do all these things because I don't know driving. That's the bad part of it. So I'm glad that the commissioners are giving the full support to the LCT, and I hope they will continue the same thing in future. Thanks all the 3 commissioners.
Thank you, and thank you for all the volunteer work that you do for Lorain County.
My name is Ruth Burt, and I do drive, but I'm a fair weather driver. So I take the transit to work. I work part-time. I take it to church, and I take it to Bible study. And I think I speak for all senior citizens. It's a wonderful thing for us. It gives us independence that otherwise you wouldn't have. So just thank you for your support.
Thank you, Ruth.
Your left. Okay, then if you just turn it.
Good morning, Phil.
Yes, the microphone's here.
Good morning. I'm Phil Copeland from Elyria. I am also a social worker in private practice. I'm a consumer of the Dollarite system. The Dollarite system makes it possible for me to get to work and back sometimes, and also to get involved in community activities such as volunteer work and other community activities. So I want to thank the commissioners for the support of this program. I've been a user of the program since its inception, and I frankly don't remember the year it started, but it's been a while. And again, thank you very much for the support. And this is a program, as a taxpayer, I'd like to see continued.
Thank you very much. Debbie, maybe you could take the microphone to her.
Can I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you pick her up if the microphone comes to her?
How do I?
No?
No, it's too late.
I'm sorry, I
No, go
already
ahead.
did.
It's too late. Go ahead.
Well, I thought we...
Well, wait a minute.
No, because it's not... Just come on over. Sorry.
I'm listening to this is my first time coming here, and oh Lordy.
And welcome.
And I want to thank you all because I've been riding the bus system
for the longest. And I trained from where I live an hour and a half, and I live in Lorain County from Lorain Community Hospital to my mom's house on 36 and 2 an hour and a half. And if it wasn't for the Lorain County bus, it takes me less. And I'd like to thank you all for Lorain County and the commissioners and everybody else for me being here.
And thank you for coming this morning.
What Maria didn't say was that Maria does on her own travel training. She will teach people that know nothing about the bus and how to use it. She will teach them on how to use it so that they can maintain their independence. Cleo is next.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Cleo Bowens. I'm a dispatcher for Lorain County Transit. I'd just like to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to work for Lorain County Transit. I've been employed here for about a year now, and it's been a real enjoyable experience.
Thank you, Cleo.
All right.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
You just don't know excuse me, how much this transit has helped me. Old, decrepit, and everything else. But I will not let that stop me. I live on Fuller Road. I am Betty Kimber. I live on Fuller Road in the R.J. Gordon Manor. And for years, I wish some bus line would come and help us old folks get around. Finally, it did. Oh, I fell on my knees and prayed and thank God, because he's the only one that could have done this besides you. So without him, you couldn't have done anything. So, and I want to thank you so much. Please don't cut us out.
Thank you, Betty.
My name is Sandy Jemison.
Please.
I'm a driver for Lorain County Transit, and I'd like to thank you for what you've done. I went from Lorain County Human Services to LCT, and it's been a pleasure. It's made me have some get up about myself. It made me be able to go out and buy what I needed instead of depending on someone else. And if you take it away, I won't have a job. I'm almost 63 years old, and this is it for me. So if you would, please don't take it away. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Richard Nielsen. I'm the Business Services Director for the Elyria Schools, and I bring you greetings on behalf of Dr. Gene Harper, the Superintendent, and Gary Bennett and the board members of the Elyria Schools. I'd also like to thank the Commissioners for their support of Lorain County Transit. We've been able to establish a dialogue this year with the Lorain County Transit System, and Debbie Moore, the General Manager, and her assistant James Williams, and Mr. Ferguson, and have been very supported by the board of the transit system, Mr. Larkins and the board members, in looking at partnerships to help with high school transportation for our students at the Elyria High School. Because of that, we've had a very exciting pilot program that's just begun in the last couple weeks, which offers a reduced fare program for high school students at Elyria High. And we're hopeful that that program can grow and lead to some other supportive systems to provide high school transportation for our students at the current school and once we pass our bond issue at the new high school. So again, we're very supportive and we're very thankful for the support that the commissioners have given, and we're thankful for the support and the partnership that we have with Lorain County Transit. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nielsen.
Good morning. My name is Mary Beth Eben, and I am a vocational placement specialist with the Community Employment Department of Lorain County Board of MRDD. Our department works primarily with adult Murray Ridge clients who hold jobs in the community, And on behalf of them, I would like to thank the commissioners for their support of the LTC system. By use of the LCT system, both the fixed routes and the dial-a-ride, we have approximately 75 consumers who use the bus system on a regular basis. They use the buses to get to and from their jobs in the community, to go grocery shopping, to buy other necessities, to get to their medical and other appointments, to go to adult education classes. We have some who are using it to go to school. They also use it to go to church, to visit their family and friends throughout the county and into Cuyahoga County, and they also use it for doing their volunteer activities in the community. The bus system has allowed these individuals to become much more independent and much more a part of Lorain County than they've ever been before. On behalf of them and those of us who help them get jobs in the community, we thank you for your support, and we hope that we can have your continued support. Thank you.
I'm moving kind of stiff. I'm 48 and I'm getting old. My birthday was on October 21st and I turned 48. But I'm very thankful to be here this morning. I'd like to say hello to Commissioner Blair, Commissioner Moore, and Commissioner Vossi. I was here before. I think I missed the last meeting. I know you can hear me, even if I didn't even speak in it. Okay. So I'm very glad to be here again for Lorain County Transit. At first, the first time I think I came, or the first couple of times I came, I was a Lorain Community College student working on my associate's degree. Thanks to Lorain County Transit, I have been able to achieve my associate's degree, and now I'm at the Partnership for Cleveland State, and I'm working on my bachelor's degree. That is only part of it. I hope the pinnacle will be for me to be able to achieve a master's degree from Cleveland State University. I am very thankful to you commissioners, to the commissioners for all your support that you have given LCT. You have allowed me to move further into my education. When I first began to go to Lorain County Community College, I am and still am a recovering alcoholic and drug addict with 7 years of sobriety. And I am very proud of myself and very thankful to myself and to the commissioners, really, because you've helped me to move further than where I was from. Because I tell you, I just don't have the down payment on a car right now. $1,500 is about the best I can pay for a car. And then you have to get your insurance, and then you have to keep it up and running. And I am not an auto mechanic. So anyway, I am very thankful today for Lorain County Transit and what it has done for me. I would like to see Lorain County Transit be able to get a building of their own that they can call their own property, where they can have the offices there as well as their bus transfer points, a point of transfer. I'll be glad to see that. And I would also, which the mayor, I guess, has left and won't get to hear this, but I understand that even for the bus shelters, that I love to sit down. Can I please sit down somewhere than other on the ground or on a grocery shopping cart over there at the transfer point? So I'm just hoping that at some point we'll be able to have the shelters. Inclement weather is coming, and any support that you give to LCT as far as bus shelters, that would be even better. I think that's better buses. Buses that are not trucks, but that are buses, better buses for the system for LCT. I would like to, Commissioner Blair, I would like to give you my thanks and gratitude to all the commissioners, but especially to you, Commissioner Blair, for your support of LCT over the years. I thank you very much. You have allowed me You have allowed me to be able to succeed where I couldn't. And I just love you. You're the sweetest woman I know.
Oh, thank you.
And God bless you. Your spirit is so wonderful. And I like your smile, too, Commissioner Vossi. That's beautiful. Okay, now I've said what I could say, and I hope that you'll take into consideration the support that you give to LCT. We all have told you our stories of how Lorain County Transit helps us so much. So please don't shut it down, and let's not go back to a one-horse town. Let's stay into the modern age. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you and congratulations on your continuing education. And Chris Eichenlaub, Safety Service Director for the City of Elyria, is in the audience, and he will take your comment back and let Mayor Grace know about that. Thank you, Chris. Elizabeth, come.
Elizabeth Rumics, Oberlin, R-U-M-I-C-S. By sheer coincidence today, I brought in to give to the commissioners and to Mr. Cordes a copy of an article in the Oberlin Review, the Oberlin student newspaper of last week, Transit Proposal in Referendum. A student group there is organizing a referendum among the students at Oberlin College to have them approve an additional $7, I believe it is, to their student fees to be given to Lorain County Transit. And they are running the referendum in a few weeks. It hasn't yet occurred, of course. But this is demonstrating the interest of students and the college in Lorain County Transit, and hoping that their contribution, although it would only be a very small part of the budget, needless to say, might be of some assistance, would also encourage students to take the transit, not only when they're going back and forth to the airport on vacation times, but in other times, and diminish the use of cars, which of course has all of the positive aspects of environment and so forth. And so I think, as I said, it was just sheer coincidence that I happened to bring this today, because I did not know this was on your agenda. Just one other thing, I do take it on occasion. I am, for the second time in my life, fortunate enough to have a car, but I have used Lorain County Transit, and the addition of the routes and the frequency is of considerable advantage. I've also taken it from the Hopkins Airport, which is also wonderful. I'm glad to see the rush hour Monday through Friday schedule, and hope that more and more people will know about it. I'm not sure how well it's been publicized, and that there will be more of the ride to the airport using mass transit. The great hope for the future, and I know this is not feasible, but perhaps someday it would be possible, that there would be Saturday trips to the Hopkins Airport, which would enable one to get into Cleveland conveniently and cheaply and without having to worry about driving, traffic jams, or parking. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Does that conclude your comments, Debbie? And
yes.
Those you okay,
Yes.
Thank you. The board has before us a request for $1.2 million in funding, which has been pointed out is $913,000 less than what was allocated by the Board of Commissioners last year. Do you wish to take action on this today, since we are in budget preparation for next year?
I think we'll take action when we do the budget. The action will be taken when we work on the budget, won't it?
It could be done either, Commissioner. Today would be fine, or waiting, but today would be fine also, and I could incorporate the resolution today into next year's plan. So it would be helpful today, I think.
Okay. I just want to mention, too, it's very encouraging, Debbie, to see the efforts that you've put behind advancing the transit, and the effort that you've put into getting other funding other than the general fund money, and I commend you for that. And I commend each and every one of you for being here and supporting the transit. It's good to see the number of people here, and I see that that's increased just about every time you come in, so that's really good too.
Thank you.
Yes, I would move to approve, what is it, 1.2?
1.2 million
in the budget.
I'll second.
Discussion?
We're going to do this in the same fashion that we've done in previous years, allocating the monies out over a 12-month period of time.
If that suits whatever the board and also LCT deems reasonable, it doesn't matter to us, Commissioner, only the total amount.
Right, but I don't want to give them the total amount right now if they don't need it. I want to keep whatever's available to us to invest so that we continue to get the interest income off of that if they don't need it. And that's the way we've done it in the past.
Yes, that would be fine, Commissioner.
Okay.
That would be for the full year, so they don't have to keep coming back, correct? That's what
Yes, we're approving this amount, but it won't be given to them in one lump sum. It'll be given to them on a monthly basis or
As we
we have in the past. Is that okay, Debbie?
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct. On the monthly basis, that's how we work.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right.
Okay, amend my motion to include that they receive it on a monthly basis.
And I'll second that. Okay. Further discussion?
Ooh, amen. Thank you.
I think we need to vote first. Madam Clerk?
Mrs. Vacy? Aye. Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Thank you.
We got another $300 million worth of money we got to talk about. You guys want to come back when we discuss those budgets? we do appreciate the participation. So, thank you. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you want to take just a minute's break? You're welcome to stay, but if you'd like to leave, yes, we'll just take a minute's break. 1 minute. I think it's one of
Yeah, they put on a good presentation.
Pam?
Tape.
Oh, yes. Writer's cramp. Well, we're not doing that. Very good. Okay, now that we've had all those wonderful presentations, we will return to our regular order of business. Ma'am?
Number 1, Job and Family Services bills.
So moved. Second.
Discussion. Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Investments.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Moore?
Yes, I
Aye.
have some discussion here, please. Sorry.
She says I was always last, so I had to make a motion. Now he's last.
But anyway, please include in the minutes that my approval of the department's request for account transfers and appropriations is not to be interpreted as approval to additional raises or hires by the departments. That's all I have. Now you
Well, I have a question on the comment, I guess. We have a stack of account transfers that may deal with that issue, but I'm not sure, do the appropriations deal with that issue as
Okay.
well?
Well, can I explain first? I don't think that members of the audience may know.
We don't either.
I understand what Commissioner Vacy is speaking to. I'm well aware of this issue, but I don't think the public does. Well, some of the transfers that are being requested by the agencies close to year-end deal with increases in compensation that have been made to members of their staff over and above the budgeted amounts by the Board of Commissioners. Now, while each independent appointing authority, elected official, is allowed to set the wages, terms, conditions, and compensation of their employees by the code, it is this board's responsibility to determine proper budgets for those departments, obviously with their input. It has come to the attention of the board that there has been an acceleration in certain salary accounts that they did not budget for in the beginning of this year. In order to cover the shortfall because of those increases, many departments are moving money from other accounts into the salary accounts to cover the shortages this year. I think what Ms. Vacy is saying, and I understood it clearly, is that she is not sanctioning those increases for next year's budget.
That's what I said.
By merely approving the transfer of some funds within those departments at this time. As Mr. Rokasi has pointed out before, if we don't acknowledge that, people feel that that's some kind of tacit approval and that we're obligated to fund that with the new budget next year. And in talking with all three commissioners individually, I don't believe that any one of them is giving that approval that they're going to fund those levels into the 2002 budget. And that is being pointed out crystal clear here going into working on the 2002 budget. I hope that clarifies it a bit.
Well, and to further comment on it, I would just like to say that I never even saw these documents until 9:15 this morning, okay? And I'm very unhappy about the fact that this information came forward, and there was a letter attached to it dated November the 8th, and I've been in the office at least 3 days this week, and I don't see this until 9:15 this morning. I'm very unhappy about that, and I just want you to know I'm concurring with what you said, but I didn't even aware of this until this morning, so that's inappropriate as far as I'm concerned. So
we're drawing a line in the sand for next year. Is that what we're doing?
Several of them, I think.
I think so.
Yes, there's a lot of lines being drawn in the sand.
Okay.
I'd like to make an apology to Commissioner Blair for not getting the information in a more timely fashion. It was a short work week. There was some issues with the paperwork, and I have to take responsibility for that. So we won't let that happen again, Commissioner.
Thank you. So anyway, where were we on voting, Teresa?
I said aye.
Is there further discussion? Mr. Moore said aye, so
Yeah.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye. What, that comment?
Transfers?
So moved.
Second, same comment.
Further discussion? Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy? Aye. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Advances? There was only repayments of advances.
Excuse me?
There was repayments of advances back.
That's all?
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Ms. Vacy? Aye. Ms. Blair?
Aye, especially since it's $302,000.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Requisitions?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Travel expenses?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Bills?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy? Should we pay those bills or? Aye. Authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary for employees within the jurisdiction of Lorain County Board of Commissioners.
I think there was only one, wasn't there?
Correct.
Was there
Aye.
any?
The question, please?
There was only one. Golden Acres.
Yes, there was only one, but at this point, I'd like to ask the board to hold the personnel summary sheet. I will be requesting, well, I'll do it right now. I am requesting an executive session for the purpose of discussing new hires as allowed under the Sunshine Law and possible litigation.
And possible what?
A possible litigation issue.
Thank you. Okay.
Approve and enter into contract between Lorain County Department of Job and Family Services and authorize the president to execute on behalf of the board with Goodwill Industries, Lorain, Ohio, in the amount of $50,000 for the purchase of employment training, placement into employment, and job retention counseling of eligible hard-to-place individuals effective retroactive November 1st, 2001 through June 30th, 2002.
Also move.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy? Aye. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Approve and enter into contract between the Board of Commissioners and Lorain National Bank, Lorain, Ohio, for Lorain County area-wide microenterprise loan program. Lorain National Bank will make available loans to business entities located in Lorain County for the amount of $100,000 to be made available over a period of 3 years, commencing November 15, 2001. Each loan shall be no greater than $20,000 and no less than $250, and shall be made in accordance with the manual and authorize the president to execute on behalf of the board.
Comments, Mr. Cortez?
I always like to make comments about the microenterprise loan program because it's working so well, and I once again have to commend the board for getting this program up and running earlier this year. Melanie Long is here. If she'd like to make some comments, I don't wish to steal her thunder. She's the one that's been running this program, so I will yield to you.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that this is the second bank that is entering into agreement with the county to offer money for our loan pool. We have 3 banks that offer commitment letters, and we're now ready to use the money from Lorain National Bank for our loans for our microenterprise program. And so this is just a need of technicality to get the agreement signed so that we can go ahead and use their funds.
Melanie, let's use this time to promote the microenterprise loan. How many have we made this year?
We've made 8 loans so far for $157,000.
And how many do we have in the queue?
5. 5 for tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow, the Executive Loan Review Committee is meeting tomorrow afternoon. So if they're successful, we'll have 13 loans. The program has exceeded what I would say is our initial expectations when we first started doing this. Things are looking real good. We're getting a lot of exposure. It's a wonderful program, Commissioners. Once again, I personally want to thank you for your support earlier this year to get this program up and running and the hard work by the Community Development Department.
Thank you. I also move for approval.
Second. And I look forward to these businesses becoming, the small businesses becoming large businesses, because a lot of them start in their backyard and grow. It's great.
Second. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy? Aye. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Authorize the following for the Department of Job and Family Services. 1, purchase 1 Epson PowerLight 50C projector from Mary Shores Computer in the amount of $2,995 for their staff development unit for training presentations. This purchase would be made utilizing State Term Schedule 53-3152. Payment would be made through the computer systems account, and County Data Processing Board approved this request at the meeting of October 22nd. Purchase vertical blinds to cover the north windows in the front section of their building located at 42485 North Ridge Road. Purchase will be made from J&M Interiors Elyria to provide the blinds in the amount of $4,964.64. 3 quotes were received, and J&M was the lowest and most responsive, complying with specifications, and payment will be made from their building maintenance account. 3, approve and enter into snow plowing agreement with the Board of Commissioners Maintenance Department to provide snow plowing, salting, and snow removal services when needed at Job and Family Services parking lots. This agreement is effective retroactive to November 1st, 2001 through October 31st, 2002 at $350 per daily plowing. This is the first of 2-year agreements. The 1 renewal year is provided at the same rates. This agreement contains a 90-day written amendment termination clause, and payment will be made from their building maintenance account. 4, Rainbow Child Preschool and Daycare Center Incorporated, North Olmsted, effective retroactive to October 5, 2001, expiring December 31st, 2001, and authorize the President to execute on behalf of the Board.
So moved. I'll second.
Discussion. Ms. Vacy? Aye. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Authorize a warrant to be issued to Burge Building Company Incorporated, Lorain, Ohio, for home repairs to 1009 Mechanic Street in the Grafton Village for homeowner Wanda Jean Sue Saber in the amount of $3,430. Lorain County CHIP provided down payment assistance to Wanda Jean Sue Cyber in the amount of $8,500 for the home purchase. The home inspector has identified $3,430 of work that needs to be completed, and the amount was approved by Resolution 01581 on June 12, 2001. Lorain County Community Development Department has agreed to pay a maximum of $3,430 towards these repairs, and Wanda Jean Sue Cyber will pay the difference of $210. The community development's portion of this work will be provided through the property acquisition account.
Madam President, I'll have to recuse myself due to a potential conflict on this issue.
Okay.
So I'll be back. I'll just out the door here.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Moore.
You're not allowed to go any further.
Well, I don't know.
Will.
For the lunch, I'll be back.
I will so move. And I will second. And did you have any comments about this?
No, Commissioner, this is just part of the CHIP program to try to make affordable housing for some of our people in the community. Under that program, we do provide for certain repairs, and to ensure that the homes are in moving condition when we provide the loans. It's another great program that the board has put into place. I believe, Melanie, Melanie left.
Yes.
That wasn't good for me. I believe we're going to do 10 of these under the program. We didn't have CHIP for a couple of years. We had lost it, and thankfully for the hard work and downstairs in the Community Development Department and the support of the board, we're able to have this CHIP program. So another successful undertaking by the commissioners to make affordable housing for our residents in the county.
Well, I think by owning homes, people are encouraged to take care of them, and we'll see less blighted areas. So I think it's a good program. Very much so. Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Ms. Vacy? Aye. Ms. Blair?
Aye. You want to
Will somebody
tell
fish up Mr.
Commissioner
Moore,
where he
please?
come back, Paula? He said he was going to. He was going to go to lunch, and he went without us.
We have history on this issue.
Did you have a good lunch?
Number 14, issue notice to proceed letter to Carvo Paving Company, Cuyahoga Falls, for the Leary Township Antrim Road resurfacing project effective November 19, 2001. The contract was awarded by Resolution 01920, adopted October 4, 2001.
So moved. Second.
Discussion.
There's no way we can use the local preference on this, right? Due to the...
Well, this has already been accomplished. This is just the letter to proceed.
Correct. And I'm not quite sure if the local preference came into this, Commissioner. This may be, there may be some federal, there may be some federal dollars involved. This has already been awarded. This just means that their paperwork is in place, that they've met all the qualifications, and the notice to proceed. We probably would have had a look at it when we awarded the proposal.
Okay,
The bid. Thank you, sir.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy? Aye. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Approve and enter into subdividers agreement with Dave McMillan, developer for the Huntington Reserve Subdivision, Huntington Township. The subdivider has provided the performance bond, liability insurance, and improvement estimate. Lorain County Engineer has reviewed and recommends approval.
Also moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy? Aye. Receive petition and map for the proposed annexation of approximately 53 acres in Columbia Township to the city of Strongsville, Ohio. James Kakinda, the agent for petitioners. Lorain County Engineer, by letter dated October 30th, 2001, has reviewed petition and map and indicated no discrepancies. This public hearing has been scheduled for Thursday, January 17, 2002 at 11:30 a.m.
No one likes to move on annexations, but somebody has to. So move. Nobody likes to second either. Commissioner Moore, all you're doing is receiving the petition and scheduling the hearing. You're not approving anything. Would you like to second it?
Did you just do that?
No, and I'm not going to.
I think I just heard.
I said, would you like to
I heard
second
I thought
it?
you said you.
No, I said,
You said you.
would
Oh,
you?
me.
I'm speaking to you.
It's pre-functionary.
I don't even want to get it that far.
I understand.
I think Jerry's looking to say something to me, though.
No, I was one of the recommendations of the new annexation law was that the commissioners pass an across-the-board resolution which just goes ahead and authorizes the clerk to set these dates when they're coming in so that you don't get to this point where the commissioners have to vote on each of them individually. So that might be something you might consider.
But the new law didn't go through.
I know, but you could still go ahead and do that as a matter of resolution, authorizing the clerk to just go ahead and set a date.
But does that mean it falls under the, if the law remains? Does it follow under the
All I'm
law
saying
or the
is
new
that
law?
so you don't get into this phase where you have to
set the hearing.
vote on each individual annexation, you could perhaps at the beginning of the year consider passing an across-the-board resolution saying that the clerk is authorized when annexation petitions come in to just go ahead and set a date rather than have the commissioners vote on it. It doesn't help you here, but I was just thinking of that. It reminded me of that.
Organizational meeting. We could include that as
Do we have to wait until then? Can we just do it now? Because we might just forget by then.
Oh, I don't think we'll forget.
Why don't we have Madam Clerk take that as an issue, put it on your docket, and have it ready to go at the organizational meeting, okay?
Okay,
So
now
what
we
happens?
still need a second.
What happens?
We still need a second.
And if you don't?
Well, obviously it must have happened before someplace, that's why it's a new...
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Well, we ran into this before on the same one.
And that was the technicality because the agendas used to read to accept. And so we had a big discussion about that, and then the clerk upgraded the wording so that it will just signify that we are receiving it. We are not accepting it, we're just receiving it.
So I take it you're not gonna.
No, David, I'm not.
Okay, then. Okay, I'll second it.
Further discussion?
That's because she's making me, okay.
Don't you like the way she forced that on you? I don't even do it.
That's teenage
Ms.
years.
Vacy. Aye. Mr. Moore.
Aye.
Ms. Blair.
Aye.
Approve the following Commissioners' Board meeting minutes and waive the reading of the same for June 28th, July 12th, 1926, August 2nd, 16th, 23rd, September 6th, 13th, 18th, 20th, 27th, October 4th, 11th, 16th, 18th, 25th, and November 1st.
Isn't that for everyone? Oh, so moved.
I'll second.
Discussion.
How are we doing on this? Are we getting better? Because it seems like this is about 3 months worth or 4 months worth. Now we seem to be getting more on top of our minutes now with...
I'm all cut up. These were just because we kept forgetting to put them on the agenda to approve them, but they've been done.
I've been seeing them.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't know. We just haven't been passed them on our agenda. Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure then you guys are getting caught up and doing better.
November 1st.
Fantastic.
Mr. Moore.
Aye.
Ms. Blair.
Aye.
Ms. Vacy. Aye. Authorize the closing of the County Administration Building on Monday, December 24th, 2001, in observance of Christmas Eve holiday.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
You want to have a
Vacy.
discussion on this before we
Sure,
move
we
on?
can discuss it. What's your question?
I thought it, okay. Isn't there any issues in which there were some contracts in which you guys negotiated this out?
Absolutely.
Is that what
Well,
happened?
not negotiated out, negotiated in.
Okay.
Let me give a brief history for members of the audience. Several years ago, there was the perception of county employees having election day off and the appropriateness of that day. The board recognized the sensitivity of the issue. However, we were under several labor agreements, pardon me, that obligated us to provide that day off. We were directed sometime in the mid-'90s to negotiate with our labor unions to remove Election Day as a holiday in the contract. We were partly successful with that, and we granted the unions a half-day on the 24th of December in lieu of the Election Day holiday if the 24th fell during the week. Follow-up negotiations on renewal contracts, the union was successful at gaining the complete 24th as a holiday to finalize the loss of Election Day, and this is over a period of 5 or 6 years. However, we stipulated that the 24th would not be a holiday that would be complemented on, recognized on Friday or Monday if it fell on a Saturday or Sunday. So the issue hasn't come up because right after that negotiations, the 24th fell on Saturday, then it fell on Sunday, and this is the first time it's falling during the week. So we have to allow our unionized employees to have the 24th as a holiday. We can either keep the building open on the 24th for those members that are not part of the labor agreements, or we could close the buildings, recognizing that each elected official that is in the building does not have to follow suit. Even though the building's open, they can still allow them people to have the 24th off, which I believe most of them will do because they have labor agreements that give it to their bargaining unit people. With that, I thought it was prudent that we address the issue. I also need to point out that your non-bargaining unit members also forfeited a previously granted day off, so that giving them 24th would not enrich them any further than what they had before.
So anytime it comes up during the week, we'll have to vote on this. Other than that, if it's a weekend, it's a non-issue.
Well,
what you're saying?
Right now, what I would recommend is to modify this resolution and at this point simply add it to the personnel manual that it's a county holiday, just like the 25th or the 4th of July, so that we don't have to revisit this issue repetitively over the next several years.
So is there a way we can do that today? Or?
You can just modify the resolution to add it as an official county holiday along with the other ones that are recognized in our personnel manual. Is that suitable, Mr. Folk?
That's great.
I would also
Mr.
note...
Ennis wants to say something.
Well, I would note to the commissioners, when we were discussing this, I got like 100 phone calls, and I told everybody that I thought we were going to be doing this, so if you don't do this, I have to leave the country.
That sounds like a bad thing right there.
Commissioner Basie, would you care to amend? I believe you moved. Yes. Would you care to amend your motion to include future scenarios, or you just want to leave it for this one? Help us out, Jim.
I would request that you amend the resolution to designate December 24th as an official county holiday.
If it falls during the week, correct?
Well, I would leave it open-ended because I think that the most recent labor agreement will go a little further. I guess I should have. Ms. Foat, help me out. I think now...
We have language, though, both in our policy and in the contract that explains what happens if a holiday falls on a weekend.
Correct.
So there's a mechanism in place to take care of that.
Okay. Right. So I would ask that we just designate it now as a county holiday along with the 25th, July 4th.
My birthday.
Your birthday. Believe it or not, years gone by, your birthday used to be a holiday in the county about 15 years ago.
Until I won, so.
Okay, Alaman, with the exclusion of his birthday.
Good trying.
And in accordance with the union contracts.
And current county policy.
Current county policy.
That way, therefore, we no longer have to visit this every year.
I too had a lot of phone calls as Mr. Ennis has, but I didn't promise anything, so I don't have to leave the country.
Okay.
I will second the motion as amended.
Ms. Vacy? Aye. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Thank you for that discussion that follows.
Authorize the addition and deletion of personnel in the Children's Services Department to utilize their Shell Oil Gasoline credit cards for the balance of 2001.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy? Aye. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Accept on behalf of Brown Hill Township trustees the improvement for 19 lots and accepting the maintenance bond for a period of 1 year for Mantle Rock Estates. The developer Don Mold has constructed the first half of the subject subdivision and has filed with the county engineer's office a maintenance bond. The asphalt and storm sewers were installed by the developer and approved by the engineer. Mantle Rock Estates subdivision plat is recorded in plat volume number 67, page 25 and 26 in Lorain County Records of Plats. Except the following: Grant Oak Drive with the road number T263 extending northerly from Portman Road, County Road 102, 1,255.63 feet, or 0.238 miles in length. Osage Drive with road number T264 extending northerly and easterly from Grant Oak Drive, 885 feet or 0.168 miles in length to temporary turnaround, and Acorn Circle Road number T265 extending west from Osage Drive, 130.08 feet or 0.0246 miles. Acorn Circle is a cul-de-sac approximately 70 feet north of Grant Oak Drive. The remaining subdivision paving and storm sewers shall be completed next year, and Brown Hill Township Trustees has accepted these improvements with no comments, and County Engineer has reviewed and recommended approval.
Also moved. I'll second, but I have a question. What we're actually doing here is approving the creation of new streets after we break all this down? Mr. Milletti is here. Wayne Milletti from the engineer's office?
Wayne Milletti, County Engineer's Office. Yes, we're accepting the new improvements, which would be the road and sewers.
But I mean, is that an improvement, or will these be new streets?
It is a new street, yes.
I think it's already built though, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Once it's built, we'll go on once it's approved.
This is just a formalization of taking it over for maintenance, snow plowing.
Right. From now on, if you pass this resolution, township will maintain it.
Okay, I'm getting beat up by the 4-H'ers up here saying, hey, this is township land, you know, so I'm like, hey, I think that was
You use anything an excuse.
No, because basically I'm trying to explain to them, this has already been done, correct? The land's already been developed.
Correct.
And what we're doing today is?
Transferring this maintenance over to the township.
So now the township will control the roads. So
Right.
that's they're cleaning it.
You're taking it from private ownership to public ownership.
Exactly.
Right. So that's,
And then there's a maintenance bond for 1 year the developer has to maintain.
okay.
So
And
now,
after a year, he'd be
Get beat
released.
up by head by these guys.
so these will be new streets on maps,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
and then they'll
With
be
those
added,
new numbers.
and they'll be added to the township's inventory, so they'll receive
Yes.
reimbursement.
Yes. That'll
Okay.
happen for next year.
Okay. Other questions? Madam Clerk?
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Thank you, Wayne.
Sorry, guys.